Since the pandemic, many of us are now remote workers. I'm also a remote worker right now. As much as this is giving us such a huge freedom on how our home office looks like, it's also creating some issues, right? Like keeping your desk tidy, or how should the wall look like, or just having very annoying neighbors. And even if some employees think that all of this is enough to push us back into the office, I am completely against that. Especially because there are many researches that show that having power over how your surroundings look like gives you more productivity. A study from 2010, so way before the pandemic, showed that employees who have control over their own office and how it looks like and what they can put on it, like a picture or a plant or something, not only they're healthier and happier, but they're also 22% more productive. But let's be honest, there is a very subtle line between having the power to design your own space and having a cluttered, messy, disorganized space that is just holding you back from achieving your full potential. Let's start with the clutter factor. Untidy, messy, disorganized space can be distracting and overwhelming. This just makes everything harder to focus and to be productive on things and get anything done. It is very important to keep your workspace tidy and all the essentials within reach. And the most acculturated of you are gonna come after me saying, actually, Albert Einstein once said, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, what are we to think of an empty desk? I hear you. I don't want to contest that. And I know how impossible it is to move you from that idea. I know that, alright? But according to a study, a messy office impacts the opinion that the others have of you and of your work. And I know, we don't care about what the others think about us. We're amazing anyway, we don't care, right? But let's think about it. How much would that affect maybe your own opinion about your own self? It is very important that we keep our confidence high, especially when working remotely, where we don't have many feedbacks from the outside. And hear me out, I am one of the messiest person ever. Like, if I have to show you the corner right there, you would be impressed. And if I have to show you my room right now, you would be very shocked. And I'm not talking about, oh my god, there is a sock on the floor. No, I'm talking full mess that I have to move clothes only on one side of the bed, so I have enough space to sleep in. But I've learned through time to give myself around like 5 minutes per day where I tidy up at least the workspace. Because this is where my mind has to wander, right? I'm gonna tell you a secret, alright? I usually put on a song, like the song that is stuck in my head in that day, and I just start cleaning things. Imagine walking past my room and just seeing me there singing with the earphones on and just tidy up stuff. It's actually fun after a while. Starting is difficult, I know. I might be redundant because I always say that we as humans are not that different from plants, right? We need sun, we need nutritious food, and we need a lot of light. I started to realize that, especially when I was living in Paris. As you might know, rents in Paris are extremely expensive, like to another level. And the only place that I could afford for myself was like a teeny tiny room where there was just right the space for the bed. That's it. And there was this window that was not even putting that much light in it. To let you understand, I was calling my room the cave. Even then, I could notice how unproductive I was by studying in my room because there was not much light compared to when I was going to the university. Even if there were 3,000 people around me doing all sorts of noise and be very distracted, still I was way more productive there because there was more natural light. There is a research by the Cornell University reinforcing how linked are the employees' well-being and natural light. This research revealed that employees in a workspace with a lot of natural light had 51% less eye strain, 63% less headaches, and 51% less of drowsiness. Most of the times, being close to a window does not only affect the amount of natural light that we get, but also the quality of the air that we breathe. Of course, if you're living in a big city, if you're living in Milan or anywhere else, and there is a very high pollution, stay away from the window, keep that closed, and use an air purifier. So it's always good to have a window in your office, and you get bonus points if you can see some green out of it, because it's actually a de-stressor. But what can you do if you don't have any window and you have no possibility of changing where you are working right now? Well, maybe we can play a little bit around with artificial light. I've heard about many people using SAD lights, and no, I'm not talking like sad lights, but like SAD lights. They are mimicking the sunlight. But I've never used it, so I don't know if I can suggest it to you, you know. What I like the most is to work around with lights in my room, so to make it at least pleasant for the eyes. A small tip that I can give you about this is to put lights in the corners of your room. Like, stay away from the big light from the ceiling. That is just depressing. Try to work around with small, softer lights in the corners of your room. To simulate daylight, use light bulbs that are between 5000 and 6500 Kelvin. And a nice tip that you might like, if you add a plant in your office, that is going to increase the amount of brain-friendly oxygen that is going to increase your productivity and concentration. For the last point, furniture might be not only physically, but also psychologically hurting you. Listen, I'm trying so hard to not be the grandma telling you, you should have an ergonomic chair, you should have an ergonomic keyboard. I'm trying so hard, I promise to you. But it's actually true. You should have an ergonomic chair, you should have an ergonomic desk, you should have an ergonomic keyboard. It's really, really important to have this type of furniture, so that will help you to stay more productive for more time. It doesn't make sense to force yourself into a situation where you have to spend a lot of hours and not being comfortable, right? So I would always say to invest on a good chair. But to be honest, I haven't invested in a good chair yet. I've seen like Herman Miller's chair. Those are expensive. Herman Miller, if you want to sponsor me, I would love to try them out. I love your chair. Hi, thank you. Anyway, if you can afford that, get the best chair you can, because it's actually really important for you to sit comfortably. And then again, if you don't have the possibility to buy new furniture or to be more ergonomic, or like you just don't like it, you can think about rearranging your home office. A lot of studies prove that having your back facing the door is not really healthy for you, because it's always keeping you in a subconscious alert. I've also read that having your desk facing a wall is not really healthy, and you don't get much creativity out of it. Listen, I feel very hypocritical to tell you that, because my desk is currently facing the wall right now, but that's the point. There is an optimal solution for our home office, but not all of us can do that, right? So the most important thing is to work around with what we have and try to make the best out of it. I hope I didn't waste your time with these tricks, because if you didn't know, time management tools are a scam.